Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about why some people still believe that everything is going according to plan, that Russia's doing just fine over there, and that's what they want to do, and that's how things are supposed to be going, and they're just repeating that line. And why those people are doing that, and some even suggesting that the United States is next. I got this message. I have a question for you. I watch a lot of American YouTubers. I see some of the far right and far left both repeating the lie that everything is going according to plan, even after Putin spent days saying the people at the steel plant had to surrender or else, and then suddenly changing his mind about attacking. If he really was trying to get rid of the far right in Ukraine, wouldn't that be the most important battle? Yeah, I mean, it would. That's kind of where they're all at. But they still accept his lies and repeat his lies. I watched your video explaining why some who link Russia to the USSR on the left believe it, or at least want to believe it, but why do the right-wing survival channels also repeat these claims? They say Russia is winning and that the U.S. could be next. Because they got to keep the dream alive. Most of those channels aren't really survival channels. They don't sell information about survival, they sell fear. The whole idea of this is that some of them probably know that if they admit that Russia is doing as poorly as it is, it will set their audience's mind at ease. And they don't want that. That's not profitable to them. If they acknowledge that a country they've been building up as a possible invasion force to the United States can't take control of Ukraine, A, their audience will relax, and B, they're going to look silly. They have to keep that dream alive. It is like super hard to sell your channel's branded buckets of freeze-dried food without some huge enemy. That's the main reason. The reality is Russia can't. Russia can't, even in peak condition. Russia does not pose a threat to the United States as far as invasion. That's silly. We've gone over the numbers required to occupy areas over and over and over again on this channel because stuff like this keeps coming up. I'm not going to break out the whiteboard and do all the math again, but the U.S. has more than 300 million people in it. Russia, if they mobilized the 2 million reservists they had and used every single active duty member of the armed forces to include pulling people off of boats and out of planes and put them all as boots on the ground in the United States, somehow, without taking a single casualty, they would almost have about like 40% of what they need. It's not going to happen. They don't have the troops. And understand those ratios of how many troops you need per inhabitants, those are based on the inhabitants being in a relatively small area, not spread across a country the size of the United States. They're also based on the idea of light resistance, not invading a country that has more guns than people. It's not a thing. Russia's not going to invade the United States, not anytime soon. A whole lot of things have to shift in the balance of power for that to occur. There's really only one country that can field a military large enough to do this, and that's China. And they have absolutely no interest in occupying the United States. Aside from that, there's also one other thing. This isn't World War II. How are you going to get them there? How are you going to get the troops from China or Russia or from wherever to here? The second the fleet moves, every country on the planet is going to know it. There's no surprise. You can't airdrop millions of troops. But they can't say this. They have to keep that dream alive. They have to keep their audience scared. They have to make up stuff about Russian troops operating under the UN or whatever, and how they're going to invade the US. They don't have the numbers. It's not a real thing. But that doesn't sell channels like that. They don't want to admit they were wrong in their early assessments, and they want to keep that fear present. That's it. The days of having to worry about somebody invading the United States, those are long gone. The fleets can't move. There's no way to do it by air with the troops that you need. It's just not a thing, especially with the U.S. military's current posture and the total information awareness they've obtained when you're talking about fleets moving and stuff like that. It's just not a thing. But they have to repeat it. They have to keep that fear up, otherwise those channels won't exist. That's what they sell, more than the freeze-dried food. That's what they sell. They sell fear. Rather than taking the time to educate their audience on how to prepare for stuff that might actually happen, like climate change. But doing stuff to get ready for that, well, that doesn't involve a plate carrier and a rifle. That's not cool. It doesn't give people an excuse to fantasize about the worst. That's the reason. It's not profitable to tell the truth in that case. Not for them. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.